Hello everyone, it's me Sanjay Vasu back again for another video. This time I'm doing it on Mathematics Stage 8 Paper 1 for Cambridge Lower Secondary Progression Test. We are not allowed to use a calculator. By the way, this is for the year 2022. Let's start. Question 1. The probability Naomi will win a tennis match is 0.3. Find the probability Naomi will not win. 1 minus 0.3, which is just 0.7. 2. Write a number in each box to make each statement correct. 8 to the power 0 is 1. 8 to the power 15 divided by 8 to the power 5. When we divide it, we subtract the powers. So 8 to the power 15 minus 5, 8 to the power 10. Note that the bases are the same, that's why we are actually subtracting it. Question 3. Work out the cube root of negative 64. That's just minus 4. Question 4. 32 kilometers equal to x miles. Correct the nearest mile. Work out the value of x. So first of all, we know that 8 kilometers is equal to 5 miles. And that means 32 kilometers, which is 8 into 4. That means we get 5 into 4, like that, 20 miles. And that's why x is equal to 20. That's the answer. Question 5. Write this ratio in simplest form. 0.2 meters is to 17 centimeters. We can convert this to both same unit. So 0.2 meters is 20 centimeters, and that is to 17 centimeters. So that's 20 is to 17. Question 6. Work out 6 by 7 into 4 by 5 minus 1 by 3. Give your answer in simplest form. That will be 6 by 7 into 4 by 5. We can bring it to 12 by 15. 1 by 3 can bring it to 5 by 15. That will be 6 by 7 into 7 by 15. And we cancel out 6 by 15, which is equal to 2 by 5. Question 7. The diagram shows a right angle triangle. Two of the vertices are at 34, 28 and 20, 0. The midpoints of the sides of the triangle are A, B, and C. Find the coordinates of A, B, and C. We can see the third point over here, it lies on the x-axis. That means y is equal to 0. And the x value is the same as the x value for this. So that's 34. So this point is 34, 0. Now we can find the midpoints. A is equal to 34. That's the x value for any point in between this. And comma 28 plus 0 we divide by 2. That's equal to 34, 14, because the midpoint. Now using the same method, B will be 20 plus 34 by 2, 0, and that will be 27, 0. And now C will be using the same method. This time, the x and y values are also different, so 34 plus 20 by 2, 28 plus 0 by 2, which is equal to 27, 14. That's the answer. Question 8. Here's a diagram of a circle, center C, with a chord AB. Write these lengths in order of size, starting with the shortest. Circumference, chord AB, diameter, which is something like that, and the radius, which is this. So first, what is circumference? It means the perimeter of a circle, which is this length here. Let's start by comparing the radius and chord AB. We can see the radius will be over here. This is the radius, R. We can see that obviously chord AB is larger than radius R. And because a diameter is 2 times a radius, that's also greater. For example, let's keep this as a diameter, D. That is 2 times the radius, because one here, the other radius is also here. They form a diameter. So that's obviously bigger than radius. Circumference is derived from the formula 2 pi r. And we have to multiply 2 pi by the radius. That means it's obviously larger than the radius. So let's just say the circumference is C. That is also greater than r. So radius is the shortest. After radius is called AB because it is shorter than a diameter and obviously shorter than the circumference. Next, diameter is the third shortest or the second longest because it cannot match the length of the circumference. And this is the order, that's the answer. Question 9. Find the value of each expression when e is equal to minus 5, f equals 7, and g equals 3. So e into f minus g, that's minus 5 into 7 minus 3, that's equal to minus 5 into 4, minus 20. F plus g the whole squared, that's equal to 7 plus 3 the whole squared, 10 squared, 100. 3e squared minus 4, that's 3 into minus 5 squared minus 4, that's equal to 3 into 25 minus 4. Why 25? Because negative squared is always positive number, so 75 minus 4 is equal to 71, and that's our answer. Question 10. Draw a ring around each inequality that's equivalent to x greater than 5. X minus 1 greater than 4. Well, if we bring minus 1 to the other side, it'll be x greater than 4 plus 1, which is just 5. So this is one of those. 5 greater than x. It's not 1 because it's just the reverse of x greater than 5. Or in other words, it's x less than 5 if you flip it. 2x greater than 10. Divide both sides by 2, we get x greater than 5, so this is another one. X greater than or equal to 4. There's not 1 because number 4 does not relate at all. 5 less than x. If you flip this full thing, just making the numbers come in the opposite sides and the sign flipped, it does come as 5 less than x. These are the same inequality. So these three are the answer. Question 11. The quadrilateral ABC is drawn. The grid and point E is 4, 0. A. Write down the equation of a line that's parallel to CD. So CD is the line x equals 4. So a line parallel to that is a line which is x equals something. So I'll just write an example, x equals 2. This value can be any number. B. Rajiv draws the line y equals 5x plus 4. Draw a ring around the point this line passes through. A, B, C, D, or E. The answer is actually B. Why? Because B is equal to 0, 4, and that is just the y-intercept of the line, because the C is equal to 4 and the y-intercept is 4, which means 0, 4, so it passes through that point, which is just B. C, write down the equation of the line that passes through A and D. That means it's this line over here. And if you notice correctly, you'll see that y is equal to minus x in every single point in this line. So the answer is y equals minus x. Question 12. Here's a line AB. Using the ruler and compasses only, construct the perpendicular bisector of AB. Do not rub out your construction arcs. I'm not going to show you exactly how to do it using construction tools. I will just show you what you need to do and what steps you need to take to finish this question. So first, put your compass needle in A and measure out length on the compass which is greater than half of the length of the line. So let's say this is the midpoint of the line. That means the length of the compass should be greater than this length over here between the arrows, between A and the midpoint. And then once you got the length, draw an arc above and below the line like I've done here from point A, putting the compass needle there. And do the same thing for point B. Put the compass needle there and draw these two arcs like that without changing the length of the compass. And now you see the two intersection points between the arcs. Connect those 2 points. If you did correctly, that should be the perpendicular bisector. These two sides will be equal. This is 90 degrees. Question 13. Mike and Samira travel from home to visit a friend. The distance time graph shows an information about their journeys. They live in the same house and travel along the same route to visit their friend. Complete the sentences. Samira leaves home - minutes after Mike. So we can see that Mike leaves at 9 and Samira leaves at 10. So 1 hour after. And 1 hour is just 60 minutes, so Samira leaves 60 minutes after Mike. Samira passes Mike at the time dash at a distance of dash kilometers. You can see where the line intersects. It's over here. That is 7 by 10 of the way from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And if you did the maths correctly, it should be at 11:42. And at the distance of dash kilometers from home, just see the distance here. If you measure it correctly, it's 135 kilometers. Because this is also 7 by 10 of the way from 100 to 150. Question 14. A. Here are 4 sequences A, B, C, and D. Write the letter for each sequence in the correct place in the table. The first one has been done for you. The term-to-term rule is to add or subtract k, where k is a whole number. For A, you add 3 to go from one term to the next. You can see that. So it comes over here. But for B, if we add 3 here, next one, if we add 3, we get 9. If we add 6 plus 3 is 9, but then it's 12 here. If you see, we multiply 2. And that comes on the other column, because in that column, the term-to-term rule is multiply by k, where k is a whole number. So B comes over here. See? 1, 5, 25, 125. If you see, 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9, not 25, right? But if you multiply, 1 into 5 is 5. 5 into 5, 25. 25 into 5, 125. So this is correct, and it comes under multiplication. D, 20, 10, 0, negative 10. We subtract 10 all the time, and we get all these values. So we subtract k, where k is 10. D comes here. B, then term of sequence E is 4n minus 1. Find the 200th term of sequence E. That means that n is equal to 200. So 4n minus 1 will just be substituted in. And 4 into 200 minus 1. 800 minus 1 is 799. Let's go to question 15. Work out 4 into 1 7 by 12. Give your answer as a mixed number in simplest form. That'll be 4 into 19 by 12. We can cancel this out. So that'll be 3 there. 19 by 3, which is just 6 1 by 3. That's the answer. Question 16. Safia owns a gym. She wants to survey members to find out if they're happy with the gym. A. Put a tick next to the method of sampling that's likely to give the fairest results. Ask every member who comes to the gym on Tuesday morning. Use a random number generated to generate 50 membership numbers and ask members with those numbers. Ask every 10th member who comes to the gym during 1 week. Call all members who haven't been to the gym for a month to ask them. Actually, the correct option is the second option. Well, why is it just this option and not the other 3 over here? Ask every member who comes to the gym on Tuesday morning. Well, why should it be just Tuesday and just morning? It could be even afternoon or evening, or it could be some other day of the week. Now, for the third option, ask every 10th member who comes to the gym during 1 week. Why every 10th member? You can ask all the other members as well, right? And that's why this is also another option. Call all members who haven't been to the gym for a month to ask them. Well, if they haven't been to the gym for a month, why do you want to ask them? They're probably not happy with the gym because of that. So we cannot use that as well. The only one left is the second option. And why is that correct? Is because using a random number generated to generate 50 membership numbers. 50 membership numbers means that they are members of the gym and they usually come regularly. And a random number generator means there's no bias towards any timing of the person coming or what day the person comes. That's the answer. B. Safia gives this question to some members of the gym. This is the question drawing around the score that represents how happy you are at the gym. Safia has 10 members to answer this question. The mean score for 10 members is 8.5. Her conclusion is that most members are happy. Give one reason why her conclusion may not be true. Well, 10 members. Is it big enough of a sample size? No. Neither a larger sample size. So 10 members is too small of a sample size. Question 17. The diagram shows a right angle triangle. Triangles cut into two quadrilaterals. Work out the size of all 5 missing angles. Write them in the correct place in each quadrilateral. So well, let's first find this one. We can see that if these two were connected before like that, the full thing would be 180 degrees. So this is 180 minus 154, which is 26 degrees. And same way, if this was connected, this edge over here, this one here, that means the full thing is 360 degrees. So this will be 360 minus 84, which is 276 degrees. Now, also this is a right angle triangle, so if these two angles are joined together, it forms 90 degrees. So 90 minus 24 is equal to 66 degrees. And now for this angle, we don't have any information on the triangle, but we know that this is quadrilateral, so we can subtract all the other angles by 360, as angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360. And if you did it correctly, you should get the final subtracted answer as 56 degrees. That's the fourth angle. Now the final angles down here. We know two angles of the triangle, 90 and 56, which is here. So the third one will be, because angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees, 180 minus 56 minus 90, which is equal to 34 degrees. That's the answer. Question 18. Pierre writes down a 3-digit number using 3 of the digit cards. The first 2 digits are even and the last is odd. That is a list of all the possible 3-digit numbers Pierre could write. So the first 2 are even. That means there are only 2 even numbers, so that means the first 2 digits has to be 2 and 4. Last digit can be any one of these 3. So we can write 241, 243, 245. So we got these 3. Well, it's possible to interchange the order of these two. So we can have 421, 423, and 425 as well. Is there any other possible order to put these two numbers? No. And is there any other odd numbers possible in the ones digit? No. That's why these are the answer values. Question 19. Work out 3.85 into minus 7. That'll be just minus 1 into 3.85 into 7. We'll do that now. You get 5 here, 9.26. So 26.95, and that'll be minus 1 into 26.95, which is minus 26.95. After multiplying, you put a negative back. It's much easier. That's the answer. Let's go to part B. 0.72 divided by 0.8. We can simplify this by multiplying both sides by 100 here. That'll be 72 divided by 80, which is, let's just do that like this in a fraction. 9 by 10, 0.9. That's the answer. Let's go to question 20. Here are some numbers written in order of size. Complete the sentences. X is decimal and possible value of x is dash. Y is a fraction, possible value of y is dash. So let's convert this to a decimal. That'll be 0.45. So x is greater than 0.45 and less than 0.5. So decimal value in between these two. Let's take x can be, you can take any decimal value. I'm taking 0.47. Now y is a fraction. So let's convert this to a fraction instead of a decimal to make it easier. So 1 by 2 is less than y, less than 7 by 12. Now 6 by 12 less than y, less than 7 by 12. Well, what number is in between 6 and 7? 6.5, let's say. So 6.5 by 12. But then 6.5 by 12 is not a fraction because decimals cannot be there in fractions. So we multiply both numerator and denominator by 2. So this will be 13 by 24. By the way, this is not an equal to. This actually just, it can be this value. There are a few other values as well you can choose, but this is the easiest one to find. Question 21. Point A has coordinates minus 4, 3. Point A is reflected in the line y equals 2. Find the coordinates of the image of point A. It's reflected in y equals 2. That means the x value will remain the same and the y value will be reflected. So let's take minus 4, 3 to be here. And y equals 2, this is the line. So it will be reflected, it will come here, which will be minus 4, 1. And that is the answer. Question 22. The table gives some information about 3D shapes that are all polyhedra. Complete the table. You will need to write an expression in terms of v and f in the last row. Number of vertices, number of faces, number of edges is given. 4, 4, 6. Whatever polyhedron you take, there's a rule. Number of vertices plus number of faces, and then minus 2 is number of edges. That's what you have. 4 plus 4 minus 2 is 6. Now, 12 plus something minus 2 is 30. There's a rule that the number of vertices plus the number of faces minus 2 is equal to the number of edges. So if we take that, 12 plus number of faces which we do not know minus 2 is equal to 30, because that's the number of edges here. So 12 minus 2, 10. 10 plus f is 30, and f equals 20, so you can write that down. Now for the number of edges, using v and f, we can say, as I've just said, v plus f minus 2 is equal to e, so that means you can just write v plus f minus 2. We'll not put equal to e over here because we need to write an expression, and expressions do not have equal to signs. The ones which have equal signs are actually called equations, as you might already know, but still just a reminder, do not put equal to sign over here and do not write equals e. That's the answer. Let's go to question 23. Here's a pattern using square numbers. 1001 squared is 1,002,001. 1002 squared is 1,004,004, and so on. Use this pattern to complete these statements. 1007 squared equals what? Square root of 1018,081 is what? And 1012 squared is what? So this pattern states 1001 squared. We just take that 1000 here, the first 3 digits, put it there, and then the 4th digit is the last digit multiplied by 2. 1 into 2 is 2, 2 into 2 is 4, 3 into 2 is 6, so on. And then you put another 2 zeros, and the last digit is the first digit squared. In this case, 1 squared 1, 2 squared 4, 3 squared 9, 4 squared 16. By the way, for 4 squared 16, you remove 1 0 because 16 takes up 2 places. All the numbers have 7 digits, remember. Now, using this, 1007 squared, we put 1 0 and then 7 to 2, 14, and then put a 0, 7 squared, 49. Now, the root of this, we can see the last 2 digits here. Just square root this number, we get 9. That's the last digit. The first digits are always 100 something, and the number is 1009. 1012 squared, we can put a 1 0, and then 12 into 2 is 24, and then what's 12 squared? It's 144. Remember, all numbers have 7 digits in this case. Don't add extra zeros if not needed. Let's go to question 24. Find the value of x when 36 into 56 is 2 to the power x and 3 squared into 7. We can make this into the form of prime factors. 36 is equal to 2 squared into 3 squared. And 56 is equal to 2 cubed into 7. So that's equal to 2 to the power x into 3 squared into 7. And now we can say 2 to the power 5 into 3 squared into 7 is equal to 2 to the power x into 3 squared into 7. Cancel 3 squared into 7 from both sides. 2 power 5 equals 2 power x, so that means x is equal to 5. Question 25. A group of adults are asked to choose the favorite film type. Mia makes the infographic showing information about the results. This is the infographic. I heard the criticism of Mia's infographic. If we look closely, we can see science fiction 10%, comedy is 42%. But science fiction has a larger shape than comedy, right? You can see. But that doesn't make sense because science fiction has a smaller percentage than comedy. So usually in infographics, it's better to represent the lower percentage with a smaller shape and larger percentage with a larger shape. And that's why we can write higher percentage should be denoted by a larger shape. That's the answer. But then, in Mia's infographic, it's given wrongly. As I said, science fiction has a lower percentage than comedy, but has a larger shape than comedy here. In Mia's infographic, science fiction has a lower percentage than comedy, but it has a larger shape, as you can see here. And also, we can see that action and comedy have almost a similar shape, but then obviously comedy is much larger in percentage. In reality, this should be the biggest shape than this one, and then this one should be much smaller, and this one should be the smallest. That's the answer. Question 26. Work out the absolute change when 45 is decreased by 300%. So we need to find the absolute change, not the ending value. Decreased by 300%, that's the change value. So the change value is equal to 45 into 300%. Usually you might think decrease means a minus, right? But then it's absolute change. Absolute value means a positive value only. So that'll be equal to 45 into 3, which is equal to 135. That's the answer. Question 27. Here's an equation. 5 minus g is 6 minus h. Find which of g and h is greater. Find out how much greater it is. If we rearrange this, we bring h to the other side and both of these to this side. That means h is equal to 6 minus 5 plus g, which is equal to g plus 1. H is equal to g plus 1. That means h is greater by 1. Question 28. An expression for the area of this right angle triangle is 6y squared minus 15y. Find an expression for the perpendicular height of the triangle, which is this height. Well, we know that the area is equal to half into base into height. That means 6y squared minus 15y is equal to half into 2y minus 5 into height. So bring half to the other side. That means you multiply by 2. So 12y squared minus 30y equals h into 2y minus 5. And that's why h is equal to 12y squared minus 30y by 2y minus 5. And now what we can do is we can factorize this using 6y. So we can bring 6y out in brackets and put the rest in. That'll be 6y into 2y minus 5 if we did it correctly. And then divide that by 2y minus 5. We can see we have the same thing in numerator and denominator. So we can cancel that out, leaving us with h equals 6y. That's our answer. And with that, I come to the end of my video. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, share this video with your friends and family, and comment on how you think this video was. With that, it's me, Sanjay Vasu, signing out. Thank you. Bye.